Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 26th of February. So generally the overall theme seems to be a bit of risk off this morning. Looking at the news events that are due out today, we've got very little sitting there of likely to move the market. We've got Chicago PMI later on at 2:45, and there is a G20 or there are G20 meetings going on, or there is a G20 meeting going on, whichever way you put that. Anyway, that's an all-day meeting. We might get some of the finance ministers and central bankers from that speaking. There's quite a worry about the yields rising, etc., and that's really put the dampers on these markets at this stage. So we'll see if anything comes from their meetings. Anyway, as it stands, let's look at the technicals. There is a similar theme right the way through every pairing I'm looking at, and that's a bearish engulfings on some time frames. Certainly looking at this euro dollar yesterday, pushed in, it finished. I was talking about this certainly in our trading room, this sort of movement, the sort of equal throw sort of movement that finished yesterday. Just couldn't hold on to its gains there, sold off, and this morning we've seen some follow through to the downside here, and at the moment certainly looking soft. As ever, when it gets to sort of, if you pile in and think, well, I'll join this party to the downside, only to find it then reverses come 8 o'clock. So I'm sort of a bit wary. We've got an untouched daily pivot above, which could create a draw. The bigger trend is still coming back to the dailies here, arguably within that upside there. So this sell-off that we've seen through the Asian session may not follow through. So it's just a case of just taking a sort of a weather check as we get into the sort of early morning. I may even sort of sit there and wait a little to see how things consolidate, if they consolidate. The pound, we saw some weakness. We've seen some weakness the day before yesterday, actually on Wednesday. I did wonder whether we'd see a continuation back to this sort of mean. It just gone up so strong and so quickly. Pushed ahead of all its peers there, really one of the stronger currencies in the earlier part of the week. Yesterday, it wasn't a great surprise to see it selling off. I suppose the speed it sold off was a little bit more. Certainly looking soft where it is again here when you're looking down the time frames, lower high put in there, and well, perhaps we due a bit more of a correction here. Certainly soft in this time frame as well, so just continue to push on. Of course, again, untouched daily pivot above if it was to start reversing, but all looking very soft. The European currency is certainly looking soft there. Looking at the yen's not done too much here at all, really, relative to the other markets. It bipped up and made a new dolly pushed up a little bit stronger there yesterday. It is already probably showing its hand there, where everything else initially was doing okay. The yen was still being sold effectively, or the dollar was still being bought, as we saw the unwinding maybe. But bearish engulfing bar on the 4 hourlies there, which, well, this is sort of a bullish sign for the yen, and it doesn't sort of sit with the other markets necessarily. That said, the likes of the yen and the Swissy seem to see money flows coming in when the risk starts coming off. So we'll just watch this carefully this morning, and the cross pairs such as the euro yen. See the reaction to this, how much more emphasized the downward move is there, and the pound yen on the looking across these yen pairs, the yen's just held on well, and looking at the pound looks even softer here. So we say the yen holding up a lot better. Okay, looking across other markets then, Aussie dollar. There's the big bearish engulfing sitting there on the yesterday's bar, follow through so far. Now this is, for me, one of the stronger markets quite often, and I'm more tempted to look and try and buy back into this Aussie if it starts showing the right signs. Bit of follow through, maybe break of a trend here. We're more interested in that. It's been a strong old pairing of late, and well, see if it can do more of the same. Now, of course, any break of this could be just a retrace to be sold into by other traders. I'm not so sure it's all over yet, but I could be wrong. But I'm looking really for potential bounce on the Aussie. Canadian dollar's done pretty well. This also got the bearish engulfing candle in yesterday, pushed through. We've got this trend line sitting here across the highs. Well, I haven't drawn it on there, but you can see there's a trend across the highs there. Would be quite key. Again, a currency that's been holding up pretty well of late, so just wary of where that's going as well. I just think it could reverse and continue to the downside. Right, that's the majors there. Looking elsewhere, S&Ps. So S&Ps again, another bearish engulfing. I said there was a lot of them around today in one time frame or another, and a lot of daily ones here. Certainly signs of weakness. We just come back to its daily 50 where it's sitting at the moment. Is this going to continue? Well, it's got all the makings of something that could continue. Yes, we're double bottoming at the moment, so we'll probably be seeing some support coming in from that perspective. There will be, I'm sure, more signs of we're not worried about this coming through from the central bankers, etc. But either way, this is certainly having a dip. Now, if we were looking at this in terms of its movements, I'm just sort of thinking, well, perhaps if you've got equal throws coming in this, if it starts breaking down some more, we could be maybe matching or coming down to the daily 100. Maybe a bit more of a correction. It was quite a decent push it been putting into on Wednesday there, but to be given back quite so quickly, as I say, this yield situation is a concern to the markets. Gold's also taken a hit here. If we look at gold, solid old down day yesterday, and this morning we've already broken the prior lows here, so we start sort of edging back down to I'm looking at the monthly 21 as a potential here, 1693, maybe lower into my trend line, but it certainly has just come back into a look at a weekly chart if I can. There we go. So the weekly charts, but the same sort of, I was wondering if it would come back to this sort of 100 area, and it certainly looks like it's got a chance to roll further. That's regardless of what's happening. It just seems to be in a downward trend. Well, you see the downward trend at the moment, and it just, for me, I think regardless of whether the currencies turn around, I don't think gold will turn around quite so quickly yet. Okay, oil still seems to be holding on to its gains here. There we go. It's did pretty well yesterday. Little doji bar. Maybe if the other markets look to move off, we'll see oil come off again a bit here. However, of course, there's all sort of notes that there's more demand out there, etc. For now, at least, until the pumping and production gets ramped back up. But for now, it's holding these prices up well, and I'll leave my short ideas alone. But there is a bit of softening around this top area here today, but one day is not going to really make a market or convince me that this the top's in. But it's certainly a toppy old price action here with the divergences across the highs and then sort of the breakdown that we've seen. However, as so often, we can see this sort of movement and a push up. So I shall keep away from that for now. There you go. That's my view on the markets today. I wish you a great day. Dean, good morning to you. Happy Friday, and I will be playing the Happy Fridays later in the trading room. Have a great day. Bye for now.